test. Very beautiful.
Thank you. So we
And
just started the broadcast on YouTube, so please feel free to share. Yes.
no, just to say thank you, and just to share with you that I was try to reading the Song of Songs, the Shir Hashirim,
Yes.
and it's very, how can I say, very deep test, and it's very, how can I say, difficult to understand that test, even in a literal meaning. It's
Mm-hmm.
very hard, and it's a poem. It's a poem. How can I say, a love love poem, but it's very hard to me, and I feel that the translation in Portuguese, we lost some things, some important things. So it's very hard to deal with this test. And well, just to share with you that I try to go, how can I say, little deep in this test, and it's very hard to understand. And one thing caught my attention. There is a pasuk, there is a verse that appears three times in the test. It's repeated three times, and I just look at to this and try to see something in this pasuk, in this verse, that appears three times. And well, why three times the same verse in the book? So
Which
just to share with you.
Thank you, Rodrigo, and good morning, Jill. We're very happy that you're here. Which verse caught your attention? Which verse
The
repeats? Yes, three times. Yes.
I wrote right now in
Mm-hmm.
the chat. Uh, it appears in the first time in chapter 2,
Mm-hmm.
verse 7, and then appears in two times more.
Mm-hmm.
Is in chapter 3, verse 5, chapter 2, verse 7, and then, um, I believe in the 7, I believe in 7 or in 8,
Yeah,
and then one more time.
yes. It is basically simple, meaning not to push. Let life comes to you or comes to us, not to go out there. This is why it says, it is in English. Can you please read the English?
Yes, I adjure you, all daughters of Jerusalem, by the gazelles and by the hinds of the field, that ye awaken not, nor stir up love until it please.
Yes, love is, thank you, השבעתי אתכם, בנות ירושלים, daughters of Jerusalem, בצבאות, או בעילות השדה. אם תאירו ואם תעוררו את האהבה עד שתחפץ. In a way, we don't have to go to the world, yes, so to speak, to evoke something. Let life come to you. Love and life is the same. So there's no need to push, to evoke, yes. Let
Sim, not
life, yes, yes, Rodrigo?
do not force the things. Goes naturally, the
Yes,
flow.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Let it,
Th- th-
yes, yes, please share.
no, no, no. Just to say thank you, Etty. Thank you to clarify. Thank you to give me this hint and share with me. Thank you very much.
It's like, you're most welcome. It's like let the ball comes to you. You know, the ball is coming, it's coming in the air, you feel it, and you just reach your hands and you just, there is no need to go and to go for a hunt for something. Yes,
Yes.
because once we, yes, yes, please, Rodrigo.
Just follow the flow. Just
Yes,
not wait, but just feel. Just feel. Just feel.
yes, feel the room, feel what exists, yes, around, and what is around is fitting. There is no need to overpower reality. Yes, there is no need to overpower. what there is, and I want, and I know what I want, and I fetch it, and I get it. Yes? Thank you so much. Life will come as it comes in their own rate. Yes? When it's the time. Just an example. Today, the Moabites, by the way, Jill, we released today 2 songs. The Moabites released 2 songs. Yes? One of them is a gospel. Its name is Doze. Yes? Doze like a horse. It's a song about David. Yes? That he never slept. Yes? Only like a single second, like a horse, like, few seconds. Felipe was reading a text, and he came with this doze, like this, doze. And he sent it to me, the sample, 2 years ago. And I said, Felipe, this is great. Yeah, it's a gospel, So, and in a way, it was in the air. It did not continue anywhere. So he was noticing it's coming to him, like just the beginning, doze. And I said, it's great. And I continued to sing and to dance. And I saw a church and chapel and a gospel and everything, the grooving and so. But it's there in my mind, in my heart. I see, I hear it, the whole song, the dancing, but it does not come to a manifestation. And I wondered, why Philippe, so to speak? Yes, I thought, 2 years ago. Why it's not happening? Because it was not the time of the song to appear or to be manifest. Because yesterday we just discussed it all night, because they were mastering. There is a process, yes, and mastering and mixing, and all night long we just try to see how's the organ, how's the voices, and so vocals and so. And I was wondering, and we remember, he remembers that he sent a sample, and we remembered, both of us, yes, that what a great song it is. But it was like in a way on ice or in the air. Until comes a moment in time, the script, there is a divine script in everything. Comes the right moment, and suddenly this song find its way to be born in its way, in its time. Yes? So it is a beautiful example, because there is no need to enforce, because another person could say, oh, I have the beginning, and I'll see it now in my study with my piano in my studio, and I will piano and and with the drums, and I try to make it. Yeah, like people say in English, make music. Yes? So I will enforce this song into the, how to say, to the space of the universe, but there was no enforcement, and it came. Yes? And here it is now. As it come in its rhythm, in its beauty, in its way, in its time. Yes? Today is quite interesting, because today, this is Shabbat, this Saturday, we are reading the portion of Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah. So Sarah, before she was named Sarah, her name was Sarai with Yod. When we rearrange the letters of Sarai, we get Shir. This is a song or a poem. So what is the life of Sarah? It's the life of poetry, the life of music, the life of songs. Yeah. All life is a big song. Yes, it's one infinite song. Like you say, Shir HaShirim. Song of Songs is about life. It never ends. There's all the time springing and coming of new notes and new modes, loving seasons as well. Felipe, thank you so much. We are very happy that you're here. We just mentioned today, now this moment, that this is Shabbat Parashat Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah. And Sarah, before she was Sarah, she was Sarai. And those are the same letters like Shir, like poem, like song. Yes, and in this Shabbat, Chayei Sarah, Moabit released two songs. This is the life of Sarah, the life of the song, or life as a poetry. And we are very thankful for you. And I just mentioned the story about those because Rodrigo was asking about the verse from Song of Songs. What does it mean? There is a verse here, and I explained to Rodrigo saying there is no need to push anything. Let it come to you as it comes. And I mentioned or gave an example of the song Those, that it came 2 years ago. You're reading a text. Maybe you would like to unmute if you can and share with us this moment. If you can, if it's possible to open the microphone and speak if you wish. If you want to share the moment, how those came to you, we shall be delighted. I just 1 moment ago explained how it came to you, and if you want to share it in your own words, feeling, please feel free. If after this long night you want to rest for a while, it's also to deliver two songs in one day or few hours. It's amazing, like twins, delivering twins. And yes, yes, Felipe was reading a text, and yes, here it is. Yeah, Felipe.
Hello, Eti.
Hello, hello. How do you do? Good morning and Shabbat Shalom.
Hello, my friends. We are good. Yes, I am. We are good. I am here with Aurora. We are just hearing you, Eti, and it was really cool to this process of releasing these songs and making this music. Uh, we are very happy because it's a flow of creativity, and I guess that the main message in this is to be aware of the moment and try to flow with it, because there is no yesterday and there is no tomorrow. So this is what we have for the moment, and we have to live this moment. And I'm just happy to hear to hear this relation with Sahai and Shir. I didn't remember or didn't know that. So I'm happy to be here and to hear. I'm also want to greet Rodrigo. I just heard the text you just read. It's a beautiful text. I didn't know yet, and yesterday Eti told us. So I'm looking forward um, to hear it more and to try to produce with it if you wish to, and make an invitation for everyone that hears and participate of these sessions, that any kind of artistic or creative uh, expression are welcome. Readings, uh, singing, playing, anything. Just record it, and maybe we can play around with it. Just make this conversation in an artistic level. It's always a pleasure, and there's no pressure, but it's like a continuous learning for everyone. So we are very happy to be here. Thank you, Eti.
Thank you, Felipe. We are very happy. Thank you for sharing. And yes, good evening, Yanis and everyone. I, in a way, repeat Felipe's words. Anyone who's participating in those conversations is welcome to send a recording of reading, of singing, of playing music, drawing, painting, anything that comes to you, and we shall be delighted to, as a community, to play with it. Thank you so much. And Felipe, just one moment. Again, I think that Felipe is here. So I was mentioning before he came, yes, how 2 years ago Felipe was sending a sample of those, and we were impressed. I was impressed, and I said, "Wow, it's a great gospel," but it somehow was hovering in the air. He did not, nothing. It was there, and suddenly the time came of the song to be born, to be appear in the manifestation, and it came. And in a way, it resonates with Rodrigo's question about the verse from Song of Song. He said, "What is it?" So there is no need to push life or to chase after things. In the right moment, they will come to us. Yes? Or will appear in our world. So there is no, in a way, a need to chase, in a way, there, and then we go linear, and this is quite narrow. So narrow like arrow that goes like linear, and it just cuts the circle into two, and we have this split in the side. We're going for one aim, and we miss the whole sphere around us. So this is what Rodrigo was asking, and we just gave an example for this song. Another song that something similar happened, maybe Felipe can testify as well. Keshoshana, like a lily, it's also, Felipe was composing a verse from Song of Songs in Hebrew. We were sitting here also in a conversation. It was winter in Israel, I remember. And he was sitting with a guitar. Ruth, I think, also participated. And it suddenly came, and he was playing. And we were trying after class to move it between us. But after 2.5 years came the other part of the song. It was a few weeks ago, 2.5 years or so, maybe past. You would like to maybe share, Felipe, the story? Yes?
Sure, sure. It's I love to talk about it. Don't want to uh, take all the time. Just one moment. Aurora wants to say. Pode falar, meu amor. Dá oi pra ela. Tá ouvindo? Oh, she's shy now.
Yes,
She
it's
just
okay,
wanted
it's
to
okay.
say hi.
Oi,
Hello. Aloha. Aloha. Bom dia, Aurora. Bom dia.
Yes.
Yes, she heard, yes.
She heard. And this is beautiful because there's one interesting thing that I always and I guess many of you just already experienced as we are listening to some kind of class, as we do here, and you can just draw something. Meanwhile, there is not a loss of attention, but when you are drawing something and listening, there is a kind of chemistry that happens, and the drawing is like an expression of the conversation within. And so I do this sometimes with music. I stay in class, and I'm with the guitar in my hands, and just with obviously with the mic off, but I'm just listening and just playing something. And there was 3 songs, I guess, that came in this way. One is, as you mentioned, Shoshana. It was in a session, and just came something. I just shared in the moment. It was really beautiful, really cool. Another one, it was some time ago with question of Sandra's question about Jonah, and we were just listening to the session and hovering with this theme, and suddenly came the riff and the motive of Jonah. And okay, Um minutinho. And after this, I mean, this is what happens, you know, with it. And years ago, there's one song that wasn't released yet, and I hope we can release it. It was Bo El Paro, and it was in a session. It was really cool song, and Fernando joined, and I hope we can release it too. But this is beautiful because meanwhile we are hearing and talking, you can just let your, let's say, your machine, your 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 body, just express what it has already within the soul, you know. This is a beautiful topic. I love this topic. Thank you, Eti.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good morning, Fernando. Good evening, Yanis. Good morning, Rodrigo, Jill, friends on YouTube. We're very, very happy that you're here. And if you have songs, ideas, questions, please feel free to ask. Hello, hello, friends on YouTube. We are very happy that you're here. Yes, this is a very, very special Shabbat. We were working all night long, I think until 3, and I mean Israel AM, and then we wanted to rest between 3 and 4, and then there was a rocket attack in the middle of the night between 3 to 4. So Andre went to just to work on the song, I mean, on those, to fix something. And then it continues until the morning, and Felipe was there, I mean, in Brazil, but, I mean, online, so they could exchange and master the song together. And then at night, at midnight, I popped, so there was all the time, like, happening around the song. So, and today, Andra says something beautiful. People from Lebanon or terror organizations, they are shooting rockets at us in the presumption to kill us, or I don't know what, to terror us. Meanwhile, you know, another thing, another reality comes in the other end, which in a way crystallize the happening of the songs, or to go with the inner, yes, to take from the concealment, from the potency into the manifestation. More songs are being born in a much more, how do you say, rapid sequence. So they think that they're killing us. They are terrorizing us. Yes? And what happens? So we are staying more at home, indoors, like in Corona, or in the right moment we pop into the, how do you say, cellar, how do you say, security room, yes? But there is so much concentration inside, and it accelerates the process and the bringing of new songs. And yes, it's true. And the more there is concentration, the more each and every one of us is learning through the process, because each one comes from a different background, different hearing, language, cultural background, tendencies, and see, hear, sense things differently. And this, how do you say, pot together, I mean, there's one soup happening, and it's so intense because we cannot leave the house because of the threat of killing, of rocketing, of drones. So in a way, we can do only one thing. We just sit here and write, or take into the light, or release songs which are existing in different stages of creation or creative process. So in a way, it funnels, yes, the whole momentum yes, funnel us to do one thing, to concentrate in one thing. And this is what happens. So they think that they're killing us, but what happens in the field is something completely different. And I was explaining today to Felipe in the morning how, in a way, every song is a world, and it comes like with a few notes or with a few words. And we explained that world in Hebrew, olam, comes from ne'elam, from the hidden. So from the hidden pops something, yes, like a whale. Something comes from beneath from the subconscious comes something, as a drawing, as a painting, as a word, few notes, as a hymn, and it comes from infinite. And sometimes it comes in a word, or I send a hum to Felipe, to Fernando, and they are getting it. I mean, they catch the thread somehow. If there is a fog, in a way, it's like, this is what the Bible says, that Moses could go to the fog where God is, could access the fog. So there's a foggy something because it's uncrystallized or undefined. It's just a potency. So there's a humming or words or a structure, and we share it, and suddenly each one of the friend catch something from it, and suddenly it crystallizes like the process of cotton candy. And suddenly around this word or few chords or suggestion or a quote or a painting, something is crystallizing. But none of us has the sense of personal doership. Fernando hears here, so he adds the harmonica or the bass or a trumpet, and Felipe comes with the guitars or with the piano or with the organs or with the drums and electronics, and nobody knows what is happening, but it comes from the hidden into the manifestation. But none of us knows what will happen in the next moment. We're just being in the present, all of us, yes? Relating to what the friend brings in or shares or in a conversation or in a text, and just relating to it, and suddenly something comes. Yes, it's like a nest of birds. You know, each one bring a new branch, and suddenly there's something happening, centrifuga, yes? Something is like a sphere is being related, a space around it. And this is so beautiful. And this is the only thing that we can do now. Because we cannot leave the house except, let's say we go to the supermarket. Yeah, so we are making a list, a precise list, and just like commando unit, trying not to be too much outside, go in, out, in silent, and home. And so, but it's a great focus. And who could have predict this? Who could foresee this? No one. Just no one. I don't think that each and every one of us could see this happening. If you want to share something, Fernando, by voice, please feel free. Jill, Rodrigo, Yanis, you can unmute and speak freely. And why the olam, world, comes from ne'elam, hidden? Because for no one of us or nobody could see what is coming, what world, yes, will come, or which songs will come from the hidden into the manifestation. So the ne'elam, the hidden or the mist, yes, ne'elam, or the veil, yes, is being slowly removed, and the world is being revealed. Yes? So the world is not something external. Like people look at the map of the world and say, okay, those are oceans and those are continents and cities and so and countries. No, the world is what comes from the hidden, from the mystery, from the mist, from the Ed 1-4 into the manifestation. That's great. That's great. Yes. Because it's always there. Yes. It is always there. The mist, the mystery, yes, is always there. And if we don't have, how do you say, a sense of self identity, or the brain is occupied with, I have to do this, I have to be that, and I am the one who has, I don't know, associated with a basketball team or food, if all those, how shall I say, distractions are disappearing, these dry leaves of identity are falling or being removed, or we lose interest and intention in them, suddenly everything is accessible. Yes? And we were mentioning this, what miracle is. People think that miracle is a magic. This is what people think, that miracle equals magic. But miracle is not a magic. It's just something that is stored in the potential all the time, and by releasing or unleashing the potential gradually, it comes to manifestation. So something that did not exist before suddenly exists. And people call it what? Miracle, because it was not there before. Like babies or every offsprings, yes? Few weeks before, months, they were not existing, and suddenly they're appearing. Oh, it's a miracle. Yes? Only because time passed, yes, and there's a process, a duration in time. So there is no magic. There is no magic. Yes? There are miracles. This is quite interesting. There are miracles, but they're not magic. It's just the potent energy that expresses itself through time and space. This is what we are calling, or people usually call, miracle. There's a beautiful story that happened in France. It was in the times of the corona. They did some kind of, I don't know, social experiment. They took ladies and gentlemen, like about 20 men, 20 ladies, something like that. And they sent them into a cave under the ground to live their life in a way disconnected from daylight and from the happenings. They had with them books and pencils, and they could paint. But there was, like, not condition, but it was under this assumption, or the experience was that they cannot communicate, only when necessary, to the outside world. They just live there like a planet of its own, under the ground, in the cave, in the dark, in the corona days. And there was an agreement that after hundreds of days, I don't know, 200 days or something around 200 plus or minus, they can return to the daylight, living life normal. And when the time came and this expedition had to, in a way, leave the cave and come to the daylight, because the time, as the agreement says, that you have now time is complete and now you can return to daylight. Those people in the cave, they refused to believe that the time had passed and they need to go to the daylight. In their perspective of the life in the cave, in the dark, under the ground, so much time did not pass. So why they should return to live in daylight? And they didn't want to leave the cave because the cave was such a deep experience for them to experience creativity and friendship and unstressed life and life without anxiety, with harmony. It's funny. Yes, you can read about this. This happened in France during the Corona times. They didn't want to leave the cave and to return, so to speak, to urbanic, regular life of people. They didn't want to leave the cave. It was great there. Any sharing or thoughts or questions that you would like to share? Another story that we were exchanging during this releasing of the song, those, because the stories about David, maybe Rodrigo or Fernando or Felipe, do you know the story that you would like to share about David that you're reading in Zohar lessons? Maybe you would like to share with us the story about David? Fernando, Rodrigo, Felipe. Please feel free. So there is a story in the Babylonian Talmud. Yes, Felipe, please.
Hello, Betty.
Yes, hello.
Just I about this David lore. I read some years ago. I was reading a passage of the Zohar in English, and there was this interesting article that mentioned. I actually I cannot remember the whole thing. I just remember this verse, this phrase, and said that David dozed like a horse. He was just kind of he slept. He used to sleep like 60 minutes or 60 seconds. I don't know. I cannot remember. But it's kind of, a minute. Just fade, fade, and wakes up in a moment. And it's interesting because I was just amazed by this image, by this mythology, let's say, and thinking about many times we are tired, and we just have to reboot just a few moments, maybe 5 minutes of sleep, and we wake up and we are like new, and I was just thinking about this and making relations with 60 seconds, 60 minutes, and this is pretty much it. This what I could capture of this lore, that he was a kind of an awakened spirit. He didn't afford himself to be in let's say in an unconscious sleeping mode, but he wanted to he had to be awakened. This is what I could capture, could understand a bit about the lore.
Thank you. Thank you, Felipe. This is wonderful. Yes, this is the lore about David. And today in the morning there was like discussion what kind of a cover will be for those. We're trying a few things, and one of the cover that you have seen or you will see soon, there is an image of a photo of a horse in a house of praying, meaning in a church or any kind of a house of praying, just stand there in the middle. And this picture reminded me a story that I heard from a rabbi a few years ago. And so goes the story, and you'll see how amazing it is. There is a city in Israel, very, very religious, ultra-Orthodox city, very, very, called Bnei Brak. Yes, next to Tel Aviv, east to Tel Aviv, there is ultra-Orthodox city, and in the outskirts of the city, there was a synagogue. And one day, this rabbi, he was like wandering in the streets. So he saw a house of prayer, a synagogue, and it's open. Of course, it's a house of prayer, a community house, so it's open. So he entered, and he saw in the house of prayer a horse. Yes, because it was next to the outskirts and there were fields. So he saw a horse standing in the middle of the synagogue in the house of prayer. And how do you say? Hovering, staring, reading, looking in one of the books of prayer. Yes? And he thought to himself, and he shared this story. He thought to himself, it is the house of prayer. What a horse is doing in the middle of the house of prayer here. Should not people be in the house of prayer? Maybe the people are sinners and they're not attending the house of prayer. This was his narration when I heard the story. One thing this rabbi did not take into consideration, that there's a holiness also in a horse. In a horse, there is holiness in everything. So, the holiness in a horse, because the horse or any one of us cannot act from its own capacity. No, none of us can act or speak or move or being inhaled, yes, by our own capacities. Everything is generated by higher source, higher power. Also the horse, he was led to this synagogue, to the house of prayer. As far as he is not a different life form than human being. So there's holiness also in the horse. The rabbi, sharing this story, he had linear thinking. The people are sinners. They neglected the synagogue. Yes? Therefore, a horse came inside. There was because people did not guard the synagogue in their presence. Yeah. And the thing is that the holiness, what can animate or generate a movement of a living soul? It can be a kitten, yes, it can be a deer, to such a move, to such emotion, just to enter slowly without interference into the house of prayer, looking, wondering, gazing in one of the prayer books that was open. The pages were open, and he was seeing, in a way, divinity brought him to this synagogue at the same moment that the horse was reading a prayer. So in a way, there were no two. He thought, the rabbi, that he is above the community because he judged them as to be sinners. They neglected the synagogue, and he is the only, purifying soul. Yes? But how His Royal Highness will be with a horse in the synagogue? Something is wrong. Of course, wrong in the narration. Because the same holiness or the same life force that moved the rabbi into the house of prayer also moved the horse. So there are not two. There is no rabbi and a horse. There's only one happening. And this is a beautiful story. And when we were discussing this morning which cover might fit, because there was like always we're bringing all kinds of suggestions, and there's like little conversations or chat around things. So I think the color, does it brings about the feeling of the song and so. And when this picture came, I just remember the story that I heard from the rabbi several years ago. And I think this is a great thing. And Fernando offered something regarding David a few minutes before class. Fernando, can you unmute and share your thoughts about the story of David? So if you want, Fernando, you can unmute and share your thoughts, if it's possible. The thing is, if we take into consideration the song that we just heard, yes, and the words of Felipe, and the words of the Lord, the Zohar, that David, in a way, was sleeping like a horse, and the horse is sleeping also standing. It's like, and he does like something, he closes his eyes for 60 seconds, the horse, and there's a for 60 seconds, yes, and then he wakes up for a brief moment. So if we take into consideration that David, yes, was dozed like a horse or sleeping or napping like a horse a few seconds and immediately wakes up and charges the batteries, in a way, the rabbi could not see, in a way, David, King David, or the Messiah in the synagogue or in the house of prayer. It's beautiful. Or unicity. Yes, David in a way symbolizes the unicity of all worlds. Yechida. Or Abel, because it has the same value. Abel, 37, and Yechida, unicity, when everything is united. There's no two. So it's beautiful, because Fernando also brought this idea a few minutes before class. And with this beautiful story, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here, participating, asking questions, bringing ideas. And as Felipe offered in the beginning, each and every one of us is invited to bring in a story, a quote, a reading, a poem, a musical instrument, recording, everything that comes to you, a dream, just whatever comes, and we're just like juggling things, and who knows what will the day will bring, or what comes in life, because no one knows what will be the next moment or what will be the next manifest. No one. Everybody is clean and empty as babies. Nobody knows anything, because every moment, each and every one of us is being born as a new fresh baby, as a newbie. So nobody knows. Yes? And with this beautiful message, you can share the songs, and you can comment, and you can bring in whatever you like and whatever inspires you, or whatever comes to you during the day, the night, your friendship and relationships. So thank you so much. And Shabbat Shalom. This is portion of Chayei Sarah, the life of Sarah. Yes, the life of the song. Or song is basically life, or poetry is life, and life is a great poetry. And we are part of it. Yes, we are the poetry. I mean, all of us, all the universe is one big poem of life. or pulsating, because in Hebrew we say poem, it's a song, but poem in Hebrew, it's also pulsating, like the heart is pulsating. So thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom, and see you soon on Monday. להתראות.